you. All right, so this review is kind of long, so I wanted to start it. And I wanted to try to get through as much of it as we can. All right? So, now this is the same review that other classes are getting. And it says show all steps. You will be graded on that. If you have the correct answers with no work at all, you'll get a little credit, but you will miss out on a lot of credit too. Because part of this is just learning to show your work. Okay? Before we start, let me pause it. Alright, so we're finding a mystery number here. 9 plus some mystery number equals -7. Now I know you can figure that out in your head, but what do we do on both sides of the equation? Subtract 9, because we need to get rid of this 9 to find out what n equals. So since 9 minus 9 is 0, it gets rid of that 9. N equals -7 and -9 is -16. Because we are doing good guys, bad guys, adding and subtracting. 7 bad guys, 9 bad guys. Now, if you got the wrong answer, you could still check it. So, if you got the wrong answer, it's a good idea to check it. So watch what happens. So, let's say that we think the answer is -16. That means 9 plus, and then we put in the -16 there, equals -7. Now, does that work? Well, we've got a double sign here. What do we do with double signs? We use Dorito Man. So it's 9 and a -16. 9. Oops, I need to use my scoreboard correctly. Good guys and bad guys. Okay, so 9 goes on the good guys, 16 goes on the bad guys. Yes, it equals -7. So we know that our answer was correct.
-7.
All right. Okay. I might start calling on somebody in the back there. Okay, we need to find out what this mystery letter is. What do we need to get rid of to get this y by itself?
4.
We need to add 4 to get rid of that 4. Why? Because -4 plus 4 equals to 0, right? So 23 equals y. Now, I might be unsure of myself, and so I want to check it. So I say, is 23 minus 4 19? Mm-hmm. It sure is. Yes. Yeah, well, you don't really have to for your homework, but for the test you have to show your answers over here. This is homework. This is classwork and homework, but we can get rid of we can get through most of it in class. Alright, so Tiffany, what's being done to this D right here? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Do you know? What? Good. So what do we do to get rid of multiplication? The opposite of multiplication. Divide. So you always do the opposite, right? Subtracting gets rid of this, because we're adding subtracting in. We need to get rid of this 9. But we won't be able to get rid of that multiplication unless we divide. So we get +8 equals D. Now, if you did the wrong operation by accident, then you would test your answer and you would say, wait a second, does -11 times my answer equal -88, right? And you would say, uh-oh, if you subtracted or added instead. All right, I'm going to skip 4. You guys know how to do 4. How about 5? You want to do that one? Okay, what do we do on both sides, Mr. Maddox?
Multiply times 4.
Exactly, so I put a big times 4 and a times 4 on both sides, and that equals to -20. I could just do it in my head. Is negative 20 divided by 4 equal to negative 5? Yes. Alright, now this one we haven't really practiced. 3/4 times x, but we know how to divide fractions. The opposite of multiplication is division, so we divide by 3/4. You guys could divide by 3/4. So watch. We divide both sides by 3/4. And what's 3 divided by 3/4? Do you remember how to do this? How do you divide by a 3/4? You switch it to multiplication and the reciprocation, the reciprocal, which means we change it upside down, right? So 3 times 4/3, right? 3 times 4 over 3 is 12 over 3, or you could have reduced, so the answer is 4. X equals to 4. Yeah, you could. You could reduce this 1, 1, and you would get 1 times 4 over 1. Alright, so anyways, so if you see a fraction, all you do is divide by that fraction. It's being multiplied. Alright, who's the superstar in number 7? T. Who's the co-star? 3. Thank you. DJ was first. And who's the extra? 5. What do we get rid of first? Superstar, co-star, extra. Extra. So you're right, it's the 5. 3t equals 3.
That's what?
Correct. So once we divide by 3, t will equal to 1. So remember, you've got to show these two steps. Subtracting 5 on both sides and dividing by 3 on both sides. Alright, I'm going to pause it. If my answer is right, then 3 times 1, which we know is 3, plus 5 would equal 8. Ooh, happy face. Well, that's testing after you have your answer. You mean to guess? Alrighty then. Superstar, co-star, extra. Who made that famous? Alrighty then. Oh, that's somebody else. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey. He was always saying, alrighty then.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of movies. He's funny. Alright, so let's test if that's right. Alright? Young lady, can you help me test if this answer is right? Do you know how? Okay. Who can help me test if this answer is right? Go ahead. Mm-mm. Now, superstar, co-star, extra. What do we get rid of first? The superstar, co-star, or extra? Right, so we need to add 8 to both sides. Alright? Okay, x over 6 equals to negative 36. Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? Mm-mm. We have to multiply. We need to get rid of the division here. So we times 6 on both sides. And we get x equals, I believe it's negative 260.
216.
Yeah, good job. Good job. And so this is a tricky one, right? And then once you put it into the original one, you would see, okay, negative 8 plus negative 216 over 6 equals negative 44. What's 216 over 6? It's negative 36. So it works. The answer is negative 216. We skipped number 9. Correct. Different ways you can do number 11 is this. Superstar, co-star, because it's in the parentheses, extra out here. And then you divide by 5 first. Or you can multiply first, distribute this 5. What do we get? 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 2 is 10. And then we do the problem. We multiply. All right? All right, now let's go down to the back side.
Wait, what? X equals 7?
No, 5x plus 10 equals 7. Actually, your answer on this is going to be a fraction.
What?
Yeah, it's going to be 3/5, I believe. You want me to do it? Okay, subtract 10 on both sides, right, because that's the extra. 5x equals -3. That's a terrible 5. It's a 5. And we divide by 5, and we get negative 3/5. Not negative oops. Okay, x equals -3/5. So that one you can't test. All right, let's go down to the bottom here. All right, what is the first step? What's the first step? What is the first step? Subtract 13 from both sides. Guys is distributing. Okay, what's -2 times x? -2x. And what is -2 times -8? Positive 16. So your answer is this one, C. It's kind of tricky. And this is supposed to be the same name. I wasn't the one who wrote this. So it's supposed to be Ashley. So Ashley. There was a wrong name there.
Why can't it be Harry?
So that means that Ashley equals m minus 46. Now we need to add both people together to get 322, right? So we need to add Mary, that's one Mary, plus the Mary minus 46 equals 322. And what's one of the Marys plus another one of the Marys? 2 of the Marys. Minus 46 equals 322. So once you solve that, that's going to give you the number of candy bars that Mary sold. And then you just subtract that by 46, and you'll get the amount that Ashley sold. We already did the Mary sold, the number that Mary sold. All right, and the other one is almost exactly the same thing.
How many bars?